After our in-depth review of the Nazgul Evoque V3, I was asked by quite a few people, but Quads, let's do the GPS hold from Betaflight 4.6, or as it's now known, 2025.12. And I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So let's get it plugged in and let's do it. First thing you are going to need and want to do is get yourself a USB-C. Now, some people will get confused. That's the 04. You want to go to this side of the quad, into the middle of the quad there, and put your USB into that. I'm going to turn off the overhead camera now because there's not much point in just staring at a drone on a desk, so bear with me a second. Now we're in Betaflight, what we need to do is to make our life a little bit easier, and I'm all about making our life a little bit easier before we update this drone to 4.6 or 2025.12. I'm never going to say that, by the way. I'll say it in the title and stuff so you guys can find it, but I'm never going to say it. Okay, so we're going to first of all go down to presets. Now, presets is where you're able to add a preset, essentially, but you can also save your current settings as a preset. So if we come up here and we press save backup, and I'm just going to stick it on the desktop, and we know which one it is because it auto names it as the name of the quad. Yeah, I don't play Goat Simulator. This is not my old PC. Okay, so once we've done that, then it's a very simple process of updating it. So if we just disconnect and press update firmware. Okay, so first of all, we need to make sure we've got expert mode and release candidates selected, and we need to make sure we've got development selected. Now we can hit auto detect and it will auto detect the version of the flight controller that you're using, and then it's going to bring up whatever the latest is, and the latest is 4.6. I'm not saying it, I refuse to say it. That is just the way it is. Now, we need to make sure that we've got the right radio protocol selected. I'm using ELRS, which means we use the Crossfire protocol. I don't need... no, I do need those, actually. I don't need VTX. I can get rid of that. However, in here, you don't need to delete anything to add anything, by the way. But in here is where we need to physically add our altitude and position hold, because they don't come with 4.6 as standard. See, I said it. I said 4.6. Sue me. I'm not playing your games, Betaflight. I'm not doing it. So we've now got position hold and we've now got altitude hold. I could probably get rid of acro train. Don't mess with it. We know that it uses D-Shot, so that's absolutely fine. We don't need to change anything there. Telemetry protocol is automatically included. So that's built everything we need. In fact, we can actually get rid of the analog OSD because, again, if you don't need it, don't use it. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're thinking, should I do this or not? Don't worry about it. Just the two things that you have to do is to make sure you add altitude and position hold here, and just make sure that this and this is set to Crossfire and D-Shot if you're using ELRS or Crossfire. If you're using the DJI system, so the DJI FPV controller, you would need to set it to S-Bus. Okay, but if you're using ELRS or Crossfire, you set it to Crossfire. Then we're going to press load firmware online, and if you look here, it tells us a little status icon, and it's building that firmware up now. And if it wasn't for copyright, I would now play Build Me Up Buttercup. But copyright, thankfully, saves your ears and sanity. Okay, so it now tells me that's gone to green. We have great success. All I need to do now, potentially, is hit flash firmware. Potentially, because if you've not got the right driver selected and you're not in DFU mode, you may have an extra step. But let's have a look and see what happens with this particular quad, because if you're copying along, chances you're doing it with this quad. So we're going to ignore the risk because it's telling us it's going to wipe out all the settings. Do you want to create a backup? But we've already done that. It's going to give me all this stuff to read. I'm not going to read it. And it's gone straight into DFU mode without a problem. Some older flight controllers won't, and you will need a program called the Driver Fixer from Immersion RC, or just to press the DFU mode button as you plug the USB in. However, the chances you're watching this particular video because you're flashing this particular drone, And as we've just seen, it doesn't need it. But if you get stuck, leave a comment. I'm more than happy. And even if you don't get stuck, leave a comment. I'll chat to you. I love talking to you guys. The community that we are building and we have built up to now makes me incredibly proud. But tearful, some might say. Right, programming successful. So we have done what we needed to do. What we now need to do is close off Betaflight. And you might be thinking, that's a nice car, Quads, is that yours? No, this was Little Wonder FPV's old PC that we've upgraded because he never doesn't use it. The lad just plays on PlayStation. So I've kept the homage to the Bentley because the lad wants a Bentley one day. Anyway, I digress again. We have now successfully updated to Betaflight 4.6. But if we go in to the Betaflight Configurator and click Connect, it's going to tell me doesn't work. The configurator used or support this firmware. Using a new firmware on an outdated one can blah blah blah. So what do? We can't access Betaflight. Oh no, what do we do? Well, open up a Chrome-based web browser and type in this address, app.betaflight.com, and you'll see on here now, oh, Quads, this looks like a light version of Betaflight. And it's a web-based version that uses the light mode. If we click on here, I can't find my USB. It'll pop up with this, and you can click Connect. Once you've done that, you then click Connect over here, and just ignore that. Just ignore that for now. Okay, don't panic. We're going to deal with it. And just like the normal version of Betaflight, you've got access to everything in here that you've got on the other one. And this is the version for whenever you're running a developmental version of Betaflight. And I must stress that we are using a developmental... Yes, of course you may. I must stress that we are using a developmental version of Betaflight, which does mean, as per some of the prompts it gives you, stuff might not work. Stuff might work not expectedly. We are coming up to December. We're 2 months away from December now. So most of the bugs have been ironed out. Not all of them. You may find bugs, but I've been using Betaflight 4.6. I refuse to say it. I'm not saying it. I'm not using the new name. But I've been using Betaflight 4.6 since last December without, touch wood, any problems so far. But I do know that some people have had issues on different types of equipment. So please just bear that in mind. It's not a perfect solution. And if you want to wait for the perfect solution, wait until December. With all that said and all that in mind, if you still want to proceed, let me show you what we do next. We go back into presets. And instead of hitting save backup, we hit load backup. And it's going to take us to the downloads. But if we go to desktop, we can see Nazgul Evoque V3 saved on the 1st of October. So I click open. Now it is going to give you some errors on some of the points because 4.6 to 4.5 is a little bit different. So there are going to be a couple of errors. So your feed forward and your D-shot idle value is a little bit different. iFlight hate when people update their quads, by the way, just so you know. They really, really don't like it because it causes their tech team a lot of support. So, yeah. I get it. Okay, so let's check, first of all of our settings and make sure that everything is exactly as we'd expect it to be. So we'll go into the failsafe and we still set to GPS rescue, we still set to 8, and we still set to allow arming without fix. If we remember back to when we first plugged this quad in, it actually said 5 satellites and allow arming without a fix wasn't selected. So that tells me it saved the preset that we've loaded in, but we just need to go and double check everything else just to make sure. So PID tuning, again, there wasn't a bit of an issue with the feed forward, which we can look at shortly, but generally it saved everything in there, and it saved everything in there. What I do need to do is I do need to remove this expo as well, but I'm not going to do that here because somebody did copy my tune to the letter and was like, wow, what the hell is this? So I'll do that in a second. Modes, we need to make sure that first of all the modes that we selected before are selected, and we're now going to add a couple more. So I'm going to add altitude hold, and I'm also going to add position hold, and then I'm just going to hide unused modes, and I'm going to hit save. What we'll do in a minute, and I say in a minute because my transmitter is actually in my car and I'm not, but I'll get the controller and we'll do that in a minute, and we'll just assign the switches how we want them assigned. What I'm going to do is I'm going to assign them separately as well, so that we can either have them both activated at the same time or just one of them and then the other activated. Because we're using the Hello Radio, it's got 3 position switches on every one of its switches, so that will help. Pop into GPS, make sure that's all fine. Motors, it was motors props out. Yep, so we've still got props out, and our OSD should be the same as it was before, which it is. It's a nice busy OSD. I do like a busy OSD. I'm a bit of a data geek, so I do like to see it all. And that is essentially your work here done. You'll notice here, look, you can no longer select Auto, PAL, NTS. It will only now select HD. So bear that in mind, because I removed the standard OSD element option. So if you're not using digital and you still need that standard, don't copy that particular one. But again, I'm going to assume that you've got the 04 version, because that's what most of these are coming with these days. LED strip should also, yep, LED strip is as it was before. And again, this is something that people neglect when they copy some of the settings down. They don't actually have a look at how the LED strips work and stuff, so when they update they're like, oh, that's not working, what do I do? And again, it just causes work for iFlight, and I don't want to do that. I'm showing you how to update it, but make sure you hit save when it comes to your presets. And if you haven't done, obviously I've saved the copy of my presets, so when I get the website up and running, I will upload that. But just bear in mind there are rates on there that may melt your face. And that is pretty much it for this particular part. I'm just going to go and grab the controller and set up the modes. I probably won't do that on camera because I showed you in the other video the easiest way to do it is to select auto and then just select whichever switch you want for it to work on. So what we'll do now is we'll switch out to the field and we'll go and test it, and we'll see just how effective it is with this GPS. I don't know whether it's got a barometer or anything like that, but we'll give it a go and we'll see just how effective it is. This does get a lock really, really quickly, so this should be a nice fun test because we should have plenty of satellites to go at. Okay, I'll see you all out in the field in a second.
Did it stay in position?
What you need to do a full power take off?
No, I thought better not.
It was straight and then it slid a bit to the side.
GPS rescue. Oh no,
that's the wrong one.
Gone tragically wrong.
What button did you click?
Hang on a minute. Which one's the panic button? This one.
It's not stopping though.
It's drifting a little bit, isn't it?
Not it's worse, it's quite a lot.
Hang on, let's try that again.
Yep. I can see you. Right, go for it. I'll just show for it.
So that's the position and altitude hold together. We have got quite a lot of drift actually, so
I think it's just the wind pushing it.
it offers something, which is better than nothing. Let's go around this tree and try it again. Let's try it a little bit higher up in a straight line. So position and altitude hold together. We're drifting a bit. It's keeping us roughly in the right place now. We're drifting back a little bit. Are we still coming backwards? Yep.
Yeah, you're drifting
Quite a little bit. But it offers you something, and I think as it gets more and more refined as we go on, it'll become better and better and better. But at least you know that it works and can get you out of a pinch. which is the most important thing, isn't it? Now what we'll do is, we've also got on this switch, so that's altitude hold, and then position hold seem to, yeah, so we've got something. It's not perfect, but it's better than having neither of them, isn't it? We'll try it again, coming back. So have you got that on camera?
Oh, didn't know you want me to record.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Do you want me to use your phone?
Yes, please.
Okay. Do you want me to zoom into it?
Yeah. So tell me when you're ready.
Right, I'm recording.
So that's position and altitude hold.
Not really altitude holding.
No, it is. It's holding. It's holding. It's just drifting up and down a little bit. But it's holding. It's drifting back a little bit, but it's nothing major. And it just gives you that few split seconds to get out of the problem that you're in and to fix whatever's happening.
On the camera, it's really easy to see the camera.
Yeah.
Zoom 10x and literally you can even see the props. It's like,
Should we do one more? You ready? So that's both of them enabled again, and we are drifting up and down a little bit. We're drifting forwards towards that tree. Is it going to pull us back?
Also, this camera is insane. It's so insane. I can see the antennas, bro.
Oh wow. So it's actually pulling us back into the original position. Is it going to stop? But at least, like I said, at least it offers us something as opposed to nothing, which is, in my opinion, a good thing. So, I would say that's test successful.
You'll be shocked by my recording skills.
Well, tell you what I'm going to do.
I've got 10x on the
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a GPS rescue test.
I've been ready.
GPS rescue. Oh no, something's gone tragically wrong.
As you can see, I don't have hold of the sticks, and the drone's going up, and it will turn around, and it's now coming back.
It's coming back.
And I'm going to just take back control of it, purely because I'm just risk averse, that's all. But GPS rescue works, and the position and altitude hold does work, albeit not quite perfectly.
YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most, so watch it and let me know if they're right.